Okay, welcome back everybody to another amazing episode of 15 Minutes of Impact. I'm so excited. I have got Gaby Kowalski in the house. How are you, Gaby?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Yay!
It is so good to finally be with you. I feel like there's been I know that it's my fault and I've mucked up the time a couple of times, and I thought we were supposed to meet the other day, but it just felt so good to move it to Fridays. Fridays are a really precious day for me, especially the afternoons. As anyone that's known me for 5 minutes, I bake challah. So I bake my own bread on a Friday. And I always feel like a lot of love pours in for Shabbat, which is the celebration of the Sabbath, where we put all the tools down at the end of the day on Friday. So I can already feel that gentle Shabbat queen, we call it, coming into the space. So thank you so much for making time. It's 15 minutes. I'm literally going to hit the start button now because I always forget to do it when I start the interview. And I'm not even going to go into a huge introduction because we're going to put it in the description. But I know that you, like me, are a woman here for impact, that you know, just like me, that we're born at a really precarious time in the world with the planet the way that it is, humanity the way that it is. There's a huge opportunity for people out there to make an impact. And I feel like a lot of the impact-driven visionaries out there are not typically the ones that are visible. They're actually out there working with clients, raising money for charities, getting their hands dirty, doing the work, but not necessarily out there getting visible with their message. And today is all about really discovering who you are and really what lights you up, like what has you on fire at the moment, Gaby?
Oh gosh, so many things. Whew. I'm honored and so appreciative of the fact that I get to do my art, and my art is in activating leaders, activating thought leaders, and shifting them into a frequency where they get to do great work on the planet. And like you said, the world is evolving, it's shifting. This is such a great time to be alive. And to me, I know I came to planet Earth in this time to be a part of this great evolution, this great shift into a whole new way of consciousness and a whole new way of freedom. And what lights me up the most is in assisting amazing people to call back their soul memory, to call back their multi-dimensional self, for them to be able to manifest in the physical world that they desire. I really do believe that every single one of us creates so much energetically. Like all our dreams, all our desires live in the quantum soup. And when we match their frequency, we materialize them and are able to play with them physically. And so what gets me excited is that it's taking people, shifting them to a place where they remember how to be powerful co-creators, powerful manifestors, and leave this world so much better, than how they found it. That just excites me.
Oh, I love the way that you speak and articulate yourself. There is so much potency in the work that you're doing, because you're, in a sense, awakening other leaders who are themselves awakening other leaders. And it feels like, you have a very big calling on the planet. Was there ever a time where, was there a point in time where you woke up to the bigness of your calling? Like, when did it all begin for you? How did you know?
It's kind of funny, I remember the exact moment. So for me personally, I was always obsessed with, I feel like I was born asking why, what's the meaning of life? As a little kid, I wanted books, and I'd read all these books. And I was always asking my parents, but why? What's the meaning? Why am I here? And I had all these strange philosophies as a kid. I still remember one Christmas, right? I really wanted this book, which was all around Greek myths and legends, because I thought, well, maybe I can find the answer to the meaning of life in history and myths and legends. And
I love it.
And I got a doll instead, and I cried at Christmas, and Mum and Dad had to go back, return the doll, and get me this book, and I was so happy. And then in my teen years, I attracted a book called The Celestine Prophecy, and I read it, and it's all around the evolution that's happening right now. And when I read it, it's kind of it opened and cracked open this obsession with spiritual growth. And I read every book I could come across. By the time I was 20, I had my own personal business coach, life coach. I was doing courses all over the place, getting certified in every modality I could possibly find. And it was first for the quest for my own knowledge, my own calling back my soul memory. And then I still remember this moment. I was in my car and I was driving to a sales appointment. I was in my first business at the time, and I was listening to a Tony Robbins audio program, Personal Power 2, I think, I can't remember now. And Tony was sharing a story of how people would come up to him and say, thank you, you changed my life. And I kid you not, I'm driving along and tears welled up in my eyes. And I thought to myself, I want to do that. I want to make an impact in other people. I'd seen how powerful the work was for me. I took my first business to #1, my second. Like I was getting such amazing results in my own life from all the work that I was doing and all the quantum shifts and the intelligence. And I remember like promising myself that I would take all these technologies, master my own businesses, and then teach other people how to materialize their dreams into reality. And that was my moment in the car where tears welled up in my eyes. And I said, I've got to do that. And then a few years later, after taking a couple of businesses to #1 status, I literally got a tap on my shoulder, and I was working with clients on the side, but my main businesses were like the biggest sort of cash cows. And I was doing coaching and healing kind of as a hobby a couple of days a week from home.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I got this tap on my shoulder, and it was like, it's time. Like, come on, dude. Like, you've done all this stuff. Like, it's time. And this was in 2012. And yeah, and then I found myself, like, it all just came in. I went to a book writing retreat, and then I signed up to a cruise that taught you how to run like a movers, like to run an influence business. And then I just did course after course, hired mentor after mentor, and built out Gaby Kowalski and built out my seminars and masterminds and started touring around and doing my stuff. But ultimately, that's when it started. When
Gaby, you're a very lucky girl, because by now I would have already have given you the ding, 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 which is my way of saying light bulb. I want to underscore, and it usually does interrupt the person speaking, but I want to underscore some amazing points that you made. But honestly, you just had me completely captivated, and I needed to hear the whole story. But there's a couple of things that you said, and I really want to underscore them, and if I can remember them. The first thing was, you said, I always had this question. I had the burning question. What am I here for? What is my purpose? I know I'm probably not exactly
what's the meaning of life? The question for me was, what's all this about? Like,
right. Yeah. Yes. So you had a question. And it's interesting because anyone that I'm interviewing about where does it start? Often it starts with a great question like that, a really deep question. And so I want to really underscore it, because if you're out there listening and you're feeling like you're not really living your purpose, like maybe you're close to it, maybe, you're getting some traction with it, a powerful question, and just really being receptive and being open to what comes. And the universe will often guide you, as it did you, to books and teachers and coaches, and the path starts to reveal itself. And I love that. But there's just this kind of energy about you, and it feels relentless. It's like, there is no way you're leaving this planet without fulfilling this mission. And it comes from, and this is me just sensing into you speaking, is there's such a big feeling in the body for how big this is for you, the desire to want to change lives, to make the impact, to get your music out there in the world. What is, and we spoke about it before we jumped on, what does it feel like for you? What's coming? Like, it feels like there's more that wants to be expressed through you and be created through you. Have you got a vision for what impact, the idea of impact? There's a lot of ideas of what that word might mean, but what impact might look like for you in 5 years? Like, you're out there doing your work. Gaby has impacted the world. What's actually happened out there?
Yeah, so there's a few that I'm currently present to and are really, really committed to. One of them is decoding the slave coding within humanity. And what I mean by that is...
Wow. Say that again slowly.
Decoding the slave coding within humanity.
Oh, I love that.
Cool. So with my work in unlocking deeper layers of abundance, I also had to deactivate a whole bunch of slave coding, slave programming within my field. I didn't come from wealth, and I didn't come from abundance. I came from scarcity, poverty. Like, I'm a refugee. We lived in a refugee camp. Mum and dad worked really hard. I had jobs. Like, I launched my first business at the age of 7. just to get some money in, right? And so for me personally, what my journey took me on was identifying that there was slave coding within humanity. Slave coding, like you've got to work hard, people pleasing, like trying to making people fit in to a mold without really knowing who they are. And so much coding, keeping them like stuck away from freedom and abundance. And so my mission, I've got like awesome free trainings around this, and I do free activations globally. And there's, like tens of thousands of people we've impacted with all the stuff we share with the world. And I'm really happy about that. My vision right now is to get that out deeper. So a friend of mine and I are about to create a new company called Galaxy House. And we're launching a series of different like children's books and videos. And even though they're kids' books, they're good for adults too. And recreating the connection with kids to the energy of money, and they all get to meet their money best friend, and decoding the slave coding within kids. So when they grow up, they're not carrying these codes within them. And over the years, I've identified 18 different codes I work on with my clients. So my next project right now is it's wonderful working with the leaders. And of course, I continue to do that. And now we're unlocking and doing a lot more philanthropic stuff, and a lot more, just getting our hands into serving different areas of humanity, not just looking after first world and helping first world succeed more. But what we do is go, okay, third world, where can we inject money, and where can we inject our resources? Second world, where can we share free resources? Where can we give a whole bunch of really cool, activated, magical education to every single person on the planet, to give them the choice to call back their soul abundance, to give them the power, the choice, the freedom, to get them to remember at a deep level that they are abundant, they always were, and to remove the hypnosis in humanity right now. That is that abundance is rare.
Oh, I love that. And I particularly love this idea of decoding this kind of slavery consciousness. And I've been calling it persecution consciousness, because that's my lineage. And like you, I come from a refugee family too. And we left in such a way, like you know, no money, and have had to really build upon a lot of beliefs and structures in the matrix that I've come from, and you have in Eastern Europe. Wow, I just really want to acknowledge you and take my hat off to you for doing the work on behalf of yourself. And I think we do it on behalf of our lineage too. And I think that there'd be so many people out there that feel like there's something in the way. It's like they can't quite put their finger on it. They just feel like there's just something holding them back from becoming all that they sense that they're here to be. Is there any wisdom, with 2 minutes, 54 seconds to go, any Gaby wisdom for people who are, there's a lot of people who have done a lot of work on themselves in terms of personal development, who have so much potential in them to be a game changer in the world, if only they knew ... about them, or could do this.
Yeah, look, honestly, that's a lot. The one thing I'd like to bestow and leave everyone with, though, is every single human being has an inner being, a soul, and our soul has focused a part of itself within our consciousness, and we can feel it. We can feel the presence. We can feel the support of non-physical sort of like spirituality within us if we tune in, and if that's, if that's a place that we vibe in. And to me, the greatest journey you can undertake is the journey to blend with your soul, to co-create with your soul, to get that you were never alone. And when you tune in and you talk to your soul and you request guidance and you request support, it's always there. And the more you activate your capacity to see, hear, and feel the inside of you support that you have, you're going to then blend with the frequency. Your soul will remind you to look at the world through its eyes. And the soul always looks through your eyes in the highest of vibration. It doesn't judge people. It doesn't believe in it's impossible. Your soul's already vibing at the frequency of all your dreams and desires. And so when you build a relationship with it, you literally match that frequency and shift into other worlds where you get to live and experience all the stuff that's within your dreamscape. So my greatest advice is start talking to your soul. Hey, soul, how you doing? Soul, how do you see this? And remember, your soul will always talk to you in high vibration. So if your soul tells you you're stupid, you can't do this, that's not your soul. Your soul's always,
nice
always. And even like, you know, if someone's got a challenge or a problem, or like, you know, they're getting triggered by somebody else, soul, how do you see this? And soul's always going to give you the highest thought and shift you into your highest self and shift you into a higher frequency. And to me, that's one way to, you know, really like just unlock into a much more conscious way of living, and to pull back and call in a lot more manifestation capability.
Wow, Gaby, like with 25 seconds to go, are you amazed at how much value you were able to give in 15 minutes? It's amazing what we can do.
What we did in 15 minutes.
Well, you bring so much value and so much wisdom and so much spiritual download through so clearly. And we've been so blessed to have you. I know our time is nearly up, but I want to ask you the most important question on the 15-minute mark. And that is, tell us the one song right now that's getting your heart pumping and your feelings flowing.
You mean like musical song?
Yeah.
You're going to laugh. I often just listen to high frequency music, so it's not pop music at all. I just listen
you
to
can't drop us the playlist.
Yeah,
I mean, that sounds amazing. See, that sounds galactic. Tell us tell us a little bit about high frequency.
Yeah, well, it's so like my current good friends and coaches as well downloaded and created a beautiful series called the Abundance Codes Music, and it's one particular musician and them like downloaded and channeled in. It's beautiful music, and it's frequency coding you to activate abundance, activate your soul memory, activate all different things. And so check out Regan and Wampa, Regan Hillier. Check out abundancecodes.com and you'll be able to download the frequencies there. So I don't really listen to music. I tend to
We'll take the abundance code frequency stuff. Thank you so much, Gaby. You've been amazing to have on. We so deeply appreciate your time. Keep putting that incredible work out there. We bless you. Our whole community blesses you. And I can't wait to share this message with everyone in my own community and beyond. Keep going, gorgeous girl. I can't wait to see you on the other side. Have an amazing afternoon. And
thanks for having me. Ciao, ciao. Woohoo.
Bye. Enjoy your puppy time.